early is on time and on time is late. So we're actually starting early by 30 seconds. So I'm in a good mood. How about you?
Me too. I just got done driving for 5+ hours.
That's true. So I'm standing because whenever we stand, we have more energy. So we were talking today and we realized we've been through a lot of yuck. We've survived a lot of yuck. So we thought we would...
Well, and it came from listening to a mentor of ours who talked about his yuck today. So. And
it got me emotional and it inspired me. I said, we should share our yuck too, because it's a hard season for a lot of people. Some people are calling it a winter. Some people are calling it a recession. There's a variety of terms that you can use, but I thought we would back up a little bit and just share. I don't know if you want to share prior to when I got in, because you've had lots of yuck. Do you want to summarize? I mean, you don't have an hour.
Did you guys get that?
Got it.
Good. No. Pre-game, pre-Steph yuck. Water polo saved me because I needed a real outlet to be a guy and beat up on people and get away with it and be physical and exercise. So that said, I went through a period in life financially that's disastrous. Basically it's the people are divorced. So when you go through one, that's your worst financial decision you could ever make. It divides you below half on both sides.
True story.
Go.
Oh, I thought you had to. Okay, so actually, Craig and I met. He was 2 years into a separation, and like he said, it's the worst financial decision you can ever make. So if you've ever been there, we get it. You mix that with, you support 2 households, you love your kids, the money just doesn't go far enough, and you add in the economy changing. And so that's kind of where we are now for a lot of people. That's where we found ourselves, like in 2008. If you don't know, he had his own practice. He was busy working, but insurance companies started playing games, and so they would deny claims. And we had a huge accounts receivable. He was busy. Yeah. No money is coming in. Well, if you've ever run a business, you still have to pay out all those things.
Cash flow's key.
And they aren't small numbers. Like, we're talking tens of thousands of dollars every single month to keep a business going, and then you have 2 households that you're keeping going. So for you, you might be $100 short, and that might be extremely stressful because you don't have the $100. It might be $100,000. It's relative for each person, but the reality of not having enough is a really horrible spot to be in.
And I take the responsibility of raising my kids seriously and making sure their mom's, okay. So
absolutely. By the way, split family, if you're dating someone that has children, you want to know what kind of a quality person they are, see how they treat the ex and the children. It'll tell you a lot. That's free advice. Yeah. And with that said, we knew, okay, what are we going to do? There are things that we can do, right? So you have a couple of choices here. If you're feeling like, what do I do? I'm in this yuck. You can bury your head in the sand, or you can pick yourself up. And so we, thank goodness, who you choose to marry matters. I picked someone that was going to work hard. So there were a few things we did. I wanted to stay home. Eventually, married, we had little ones. I couldn't stay home. I needed to work because I brought home benefits and I made a good income that helped. That was really hard. I had a really nice SUV. I sold it. I drove a salvage title, 2 different color gold minivan for 4.5 years. If you have a Bertha, a Clunker, whatever you want to name your car, I see you. I get you. It gets you from point A to B, hopefully, right?
Two-tone.
On
the Audi.
Totally. And then we actually had to get a really reliable car for Craig because he put over 40,000 miles a year on a car. He decided to take double call. If you've ever been around someone that takes call, that literally means 2 a.m., 4 a.m. And he'll get calls every 15 minutes. And now he was doing it at hospitals that were about 30 miles apart.
Yeah. About 30 minutes or
So
so.
he was like back and forth, up and down the highway. And so that meant less of him. It meant more exhaustion. We sold everything. Like, there was 1 month, we sold 2 of our quads to pay the mortgage. I remember crying in the shower because I didn't want the kids to see. We had kids from high school all the way down. We had 5. Just how rough it was, and not knowing. And yet, miraculously, we always had enough.
Yeah,
We
I don't
did.
know. I mean, I won't give this as financial advice, but I'll tell you one of the ways you can
I know what he's gonna say.
stay off the IRS's radar screen is not submit your taxes. So they don't search for them. They don't think there's anything there, and they don't.
You're not on the
But
radar.
then when
They
you
will.
do, when you go to fix all that stuff, you're not on the radar screen. And she had inherited some money, which by character, anything you inherit is typically yours, but was put in our account. And one day we
Oh, I forgot
going
this.
to take the family to Europe.
With the inheritance, I wanted
with the
to do
inheritance,
something.
and it's not there.
We had was it not there? We had 0. So if you've ever had your accounts, business account, personal account, if you've ever had your accounts drained because you owed a debt, we see you.
Yeah.
That was probably one of the days that I cried.
That was not a good day for her.
It wasn't a good day for
me,
us. It wasn't. But
It was, yeah.
we say that, you may look at people and think like, oh, he's a doctor and she's a... Hard happens for everyone, and it looks different. We're just sharing some of the financial hards that we've been through. And we owed everybody. I think,
Yeah.
except for student loans, we had every other kind of debt you could have. We actually had an interest-only mortgage loan because it's all we could get and what we needed to be able to make sure both households were fine during this crazy economy. So if you have found yourself where you are like, that was not a good decision, what we did, we also see you, because guess what? We did it
We
too.
had to, yeah.
There are a few things that we learned from this. Well, a lot, but I never, ever wanted to feel like that again, ever. And we scraped and we crawled and we paid off our debts. The state of California was the first to get paid off because they are not nice. If you owe the state of California, pay them. And then the IRS is actually not too bad. You just got to talk to them. And then slowly we paid everyone else off. We actually doubled our tithe. If you're a believer, we just knew like, okay, we can't do any of this without God.
I remember being on a mission trip and she texted me, which you could do for free, that we finally paid off our last credit card.
That's true. It's true. So it took us 3.5 years to get debt free. We've taught it to many other people. We've mentored other people with that. But not only that, we learned that we could have other streams of income, and that being dependent on things out of your control, like you see that he works for himself, so you think, oh, he's good. Well, he was dependent on an insurance company, right? Or you might be dependent on your employer. We had a friend just tell us today, she got a master's during this time period, and her company gave her a 0.5% raise when she got her master's. Right, you guys? Like, no one will ever pay you as much as you will pay you. And it's one of the many reasons that we've dug into diversifying, and we do health coach, but really we life mentor coach.
Yeah.
And I don't know, is there anything you want to say about that? Because I rambled.
The best investment you can ever make is in yourself.
It's true. It's absolutely true. And the wealthiest people have 7 streams of income. So really, are you at a point where you're sick and tired of where you're at? Because the majority of the country lives paycheck to paycheck. The majority of the country doesn't have a budget, so they don't even know where they're at. The majority of the country doesn't know where to go to change that. That's actually something that we're really good at helping you with. We do mentor people,
Yep.
and we mentor them for free, with some commitments and some skin in the game, of course, because we're not going to help you more than you're going to help you. We have a couple of openings this month We really enjoy helping people provide for themselves, get out of messes, because we were in messes.
Yeah.
And this is a judgment-free zone. It doesn't even mean you did anything. Life happens. Life happens. Life happens. Right?
Yep.
So as we've gone into this winter, which they happen, they're cycles. So now it's 15 years later. We aren't in a reactive mode. We aren't overly stressed today because we looked back there and said, never again. What do we do to not be there?
Right. And we see you, so we can help.
And then to fast forward even more, over the last 2 years, there's all these high stress things. Well, we moved across the country to where we knew no one, one person. And kids didn't know anyone, changed how they were doing school, changing jobs. These are some of the high stress, loss of a family member that was very close. We've actually had 2 of them that we've lost. It's a very high stress situation. And so when you have these other things in place for yourself, because having healthy finance goes with other healthier things in your life, you're able to cope better. We want you to be able to cope better. And not just that, we want you to thrive, really.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts?
I can't think of anything. I think you covered everything.
I forgot about the bank account being drained.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Oh, that was a low.
That was nice.
That was a low. Anywho, we are always here to chat, reach out. That is our current yuck that we wanted to share with you. The yucky is where you're made, by the way.
Yeah.
So lean into it.
It's not how many times you fall, it's how many times you get up. It's not the top, it's the climb from the bottom that counts. And dopamine is higher while you climb than when you reach the top in your goal.
I was going to say that. It's not the mountains, actually, that people remember the most. It's that climb to the mountain. So, interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Have a good night.
Have a good night. Hold on.
Thanks. I thought you said